Hello and welcome to the Post-Match Pint podcast. I'm your guest 10, these are your hosts Paddy and Keane. We talk football and beer and straight to
Nice intro, Tay.
Welcome.
Anyway, yes, we have Tay on. Tay, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going pretty good, mate.
Yeah?
Good. Yeah, happy. We're way into the quarterfinals now. France on the weekend. Happy with England's performance so far.
Yeah, you getting ahead of yourself?
Yeah.
Show us your beers.
Where's your
Tay.
beer, mate?
Where's your beers?
What
My
beer have you
beers. My beers. I've really wanted to find a Croatian beer. My sweepstake team just knocked out Japan, beat Sully in the sweepstake. Very happy with that. But can't find any. So I've actually brought some Japanese beer as a little homage to the People's Champions, I suppose.
Yeah, fair.
Beating Germany.
Maybe that.
Did they beat Spain as well, or did they draw with Spain?
They drew with Spain.
Drew
No,
with Spain.
I can't even remember now. They did beat Spain.
They beat
didn't
Spain 2-1.
They did
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did. And
Beat
last
Spain,
game they beat Spain
Germany.
2-1.
No one thought.
They lost to Costa Rica. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. So great run from them, I will say.
Yeah,
No one
fair.
expected that from Japan. And then I did also bring, just to mix it up a bit, some Spanish beer as well. Because what downfall they've had.
Lovely. We've got an Asahi.
7-0 in their opening game, and then they lose. They can't score a single penalty against Morocco.
Penalties are very poor. Weren't they?
Penalties were horrendous.
Anyway, let's open the
We will
beers.
get on that.
Yes.
I'll
Crack
do.
on.
What do you
Which
want,
one
Keane?
I'll go for a Japanese one.
Okay, I'll have it straight up.
Go for it. Oh, let's try a Japanese one as
There
well.
we go. So we are. We're watching.
One?
Oh, sorry. We've got to cheers it up.
Alright, cheers, boys.
Cheers,
Nice one.
boys.
Cheers. Sorry, as I was saying, we're currently watching a not quite so interesting game. We're watching a second round FA Cup replay, Gillingham versus Dagenham Redbridge.
Really scraping the barrel for this
We
one.
are 8 minutes in.
Any kind of
0-0.
watch along.
There is no one in the crowd watching, so I think we've doubled the attendance right now.
Quite easily.
So yeah, got Tay as a guest. We're going to talk through some of the fixtures in the round of 16. And look over to the quarterfinals, make some predictions, and go from there. Shall we begin with the England games? The most obvious
We'll
place
start
to
with the England game.
Yeah.
Start with the England game.
Tay, what were your thoughts?
All round solid performance, to be fair. The first about 15 minutes, I thought were a bit ropey.
Yeah.
I've been really impressed. Obviously, England, we've conceded 2 goals this whole tournament, right? Fantastic start. And one of them was penalty. But,
Least goals conceded by any team in the World Cup.
tied with Brazil, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
But Senegal, they had a chance early on.
Good save from Pickford, wasn't it?
It really was, yeah. Maguire, obviously, he struggled to keep up with the striker. Senegal could have been 1-0 ahead. And I don't... we haven't really seen England come from behind as of late.
Don't do it, really. Germany, when I've seen it, they don't do it very well.
No. So that could have changed the game completely. But, the boys held on well and got a fantastic result out of it. I think the rest of the game after the first 15 minutes was brilliant, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think we controlled the game quite well. Obviously, good result. Can't complain. Again, just really good performance. The team he picked wasn't a massive fan, but then it kind of proved like it worked. Everything he seems to be doing is working. So
yeah,
what
back
area
I think
would have
the one for me, which was the Rashford being dropped, which I think
okay.
before kickoff I was pretty upset and a bit angry to see that he'd been dropped after scoring 2 goals, probably being our best player in the previous game. Then to see he's dropped, but then there's another thing with Southgate. He's got another big call right. He's put Saka back in. He's done well. I think. But go on, Tay.
I think maybe he learned from the Wales game possibly, because Rashford the first half he really wasn't that great.
Yeah,
but he did turn up in the second half.
Rashford's more of an impact player than what Saka is. If you
I
want someone
agree.
to come off the bench, Rashford's probably got.
Yeah.
He's probably quicker. Generally, he's got he's better. His shooting's probably better. So if you want an impact player to come on to make a difference, get a winning goal, get an equaliser, whatever it might be, I'd rather have Rashford than Saka.
I
think is what I would
that
say.
is the right way around. But then it comes to a point where is a player too good form to be on the bench? Like, do you want him for half an hour? Do you want him for 90 minutes? Sort of thing. So I can see what you're saying. Where of the two, I agree with you. If you bring one off the bench, it would be Rashford for me.
Yeah,
but then you've got difficult, isn't it? You can't.
Yeah. So I don't think Southgate was being harsh necessarily to Rashford.
No.
Yeah,
you're right.
He was just trying to help.
He got it right, didn't he?
If there was ever a game to test this theory, it's against Senegal than France.
Yeah,
surely. You can't take risks against France.
Definitely. think there's been a lot of stick for Southgate. I think before the tournament, a bit during the tournament, after the USA game. I think Keane, you've mentioned before, you weren't convinced by Southgate before the tournament.
No.
A little bit, and
The Nations League was
What I will say is that no, I've not been impressed with England since the last tournament. Basically, I mean relegated in the Nations League, but when you look back to Southgate and tournaments alone, he's done pretty well. I mean, we were in the semi-final of the World Cup 2018.
Yep.
Final, probably should have won the Euros 2020. That was just down to penalties, so it's almost like a flip of a coin. And now we're in the quarterfinals of this World Cup, looking good. So his tournament form is ridiculous. So you can't really knock him. To be fair,
I think there's no. Even if we lose to France in the weekend, there's no way, in my opinion, Southgate should lose a job. No. I think his record is unbelievable. I saw a stat the other day, in 8 knockout games in major tournaments, he's not lost a single knockout game in 90 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, not to bring the the favouritism and the bias straight into it right away, but can I say it's a bit of a Tuchel situation, really, isn't it? Great manager, bit underwhelming at times, but could hold his own in a
maybe.
cup or a tournament.
What I will say is, I think Southgate's contract is till 2024, the Euros 2024. It runs out after that. From what I've heard, or read rather, England are trying, the FA are trying to get him to sign a new contract, regardless of what happens on Saturday.
I think we've got
past that.
I think you've got to think how far we've come in the last 3 tournaments or so. This tournament already, we've scored more goals combined than we scored in the 02, 06, 08, 2012 World Cup combined in this tournament right now.
And when you look back to previous World Cups of our lifetime, you don't even need to look at stats, just that you can remember England have always gone out quite early, they've been disappointing, they've been boring. Whereas now, the last 3 World Cups or 3 tournaments have been brilliant.
And the squad's happy. The nation are behind him, and I think there's a bit of stick sometimes in some of his decision making, but like we spoke about before, this tournament he's got nothing wrong. Henderson he's brought in. Been very good the 2 games.
I'll be honest, I question Henderson.
Yeah, so did I. We all did.
On the pitch,
we all did. But that Wales game was exactly what we needed that game. And Senegal, he gets players going. And I think he can't be dropped after the tournament.
I think the only thing I would worry about with Southgate and keeping him on longer and longer and longer is that it is all well and good getting to the finals, getting to semi-finals, going to penalties. But if you don't win it, like part of me thinks if we had a bit more of an attacking manager, we might do that a bit better in the big games.
But you say that, but with the leading goal scorers in the World Cup.
True.
I don't know what you could do differently right now to make himself more attacking.
All I look back to is games like Italy and Croatia, where we went 1-0 up early, and then he's sort of trying to hold the game.
Yeah, but I don't think he did. He didn't make subs to.
No, he didn't. But you can see that within the team, it's let's hold this lead. I think
that's just a natural thing in football, where your team goes 1-0 up in a final or a major game, and you do sit back more. It's just natural. It's not necessarily Southgate saying to the team do that. I think he's done so well, and I just think even if we lose on Saturday to France, he's got to stay in his job. Maybe I think probably at this tournament, the next Euros and the World Cup in the 2026, I think he's got to win one of them.
Yeah,
I think the generation of talent we've got right now.
Yeah, I think what I would like to say is that even as much as this is a bit of a weird take, even if we do lose on Saturday, I would like to think the way we've played, the way he's been, the way we've been, it won't be a bad loss. It'll be like won't be like we played horrendously, we deserved.
It's not like losing to Croatia, losing to France. I know we gave France a lot of stick at the start of the tournament. Myself, you team, we said they're probably one of our flops of the tournament, but they're going forward. They are so dangerous, and they've still got a bunch of quality players in that team. They maybe not be quite as they were in the previous World Cup, but they're still a quality side with dangerous players. I think.
I do think their midfield and their defence is weaker now than it has been in the last 2 tournaments.
Yeah, I agree.
So we need to exploit that more so.
And I think if we get through that game, I think we should get to the final, and we've got a serious chance. And we should. I'd like to beat Portugal in the semi-final, because it probably will be Portugal. But I say one game at a time. We've got to.
And they'll be France. Yeah, if you can briefly stop their attack, their Mbappe, Giroud, Griezmann, that kind of thing. If you can sort of get past that, you've then got Rabiot. I keep naming. Tchouameni.
We do well in the game if we can control that midfield, because their midfield, like ours is just.
To be fair,
ours is just.
But there's a lot been made about the fact that how are we going to control Mbappe? Who's using the pitch? How's Walker going to do it? They should be worried about Bellingham. That's what they should be worried about.
Bellingham, Saka, Kane, Rashford. Sterling's coming back. Foden.
Yeah, we're the leading goal scorers in the tournament. They should be worried about us. So much for all those English media are always so negative to think how the hell are we going to cope, win or lose. That's why France worry about us for a change. We're a quality side.
English media are always negative about England.
Yeah.
Just from the last 16 matches, Argentina beat Australia 2-1. Argentina third in the world, Australia 38th. 25 spaces between them. They were brilliant. They were amazing.
Yeah.
France beat Poland. 22 spaces between them. France 4th, Poland 26th. They were brilliant. They were amazing. Same with Brazil and South Korea. 4-1. Brazil were the best team, best performance of the tournament. First in the world to South Korea's 27th. England 3-0 beating of Senegal, which was they controlled the game entirely.
Yeah.
England 5th in the world, Senegal 18th. 13 spaces between them, but it's only Senegal. We should be winning that.
It's always every time, no matter what.
I think the English media are just always negative. Always negative.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it'll change.
I'd always say, like, oh, you had an easy route, you had Senegal and whatnot. France had bloody...
That's the thing.
Argentina had bloody Australia, you know?
Yeah.
You can only beat the teams in front of you.
Yeah.
And that's all we can keep doing. And hope, Saturday, that's the biggest game for us. And we get through that, I think we get to the final. I think we've got a serious chance in the final. So.
If we beat France, I think we do definitely get to the final, because not only will that be a good result, but I feel like it will lift the team even further.
Yeah.
We've just beaten France, the World Cup holders, the ones that were probably tipped to win it just after now, at least after Brazil.
Yeah.
So
if you can beat France, you can beat anyone really.
Definitely.
Yeah, limits to it.
So going on to that France game, what's your starting lineup? Do you think they've got to stick with the 4 back? There's no point changing it now. Same team? Are we?
Yeah, I'd say same team. I don't think there's anything I would change really. Because keeping Henderson in,
Henderson's got to start.
He can push forward and put pressure on the defenders, but he's also got that defensive mindset that he can sit back. Bringing in a Mount or a Maddison, they're not as defensively minded. So if we are under the cosh, you can have 3 midfielders sat behind the ball and almost bring it to a 7 back if you like. If you really want to.
I'll be honest. I barely remember the lineup from the last one. Henderson didn't start in the last game, did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he did start.
He did. So it was
the only change from the Wales game was that
Saka for Rashford.
Saka for Rashford.
Yeah, it was Pickford, Walker, Stones, Maguire, Shaw, Henderson, Bellingham, Rice,
Kane, Saka, Foden.
Okay.
Because I don't think Sterling should come back in yet. Because although he's going back out,
I don't think Sterling should anyway.
No, I don't think he should anyway. Although he's going back out, he only gets it on Friday, so he wouldn't have had the same amount of time. So he should be. And to be fair, he would have been planning for without Sterling, assuming he's not coming back.
Yeah.
So him coming back is a boost because we've got an extra full player. But
I would really like to see Phillips get some minutes soon. I know it's Rice.
Wait, you'd swap him over?
Yeah, the thing is, I don't
really.
I'm not. Thing is, I like Rice.
Brad Thomas is going to kill you.
But no, the build up play. When it comes from the back, like you've seen Kane drop so much, right? And his build up play is good. I can see that because when we were at the pub the other day, Sully mentioned it to me. And I was fuming because I don't like seeing people in front of Kane. I think he should be in the prime.
I'm the same.
But looking back at it, right, he actually does have really good build up play. I don't really think Rice has that. I think Henderson does the job he needs to do. He motivates the team. He's here, there, and everywhere. You saw how far up he got up the pitch. That's fine. He can be a bit of a floater in these positions, box to box, whatever he wants to be. But Phillips, I think we've seen him. I haven't seen him much this season, but at Leeds he had really good build-up play. And I think if you're gonna hit France hard, you gotta have
What I will say is that Phillips hasn't played any minutes for Leeds all season.
For City.
If you wanted to give him minutes, I'd understand doing it in the third group game.
Yeah,
where we top the group.
If it was against Senegal, that would have been great.
Maybe, but doing it in a quarter-final against France, I don't think Phillips gets a look in now, unless we're 3-0 up against France and he's like, let's short up a bit, or give Rice a break, then he goes on. Otherwise, he doesn't get minutes.
To be fair, I do think Phillips will probably struggle getting minutes for Leeds until he's at Man City now.
Yeah, he would, you're right. You're right, you are right.
He has been injured.
Yeah.
I know it's risky, but I just do think it would improve our build-up play. You know, I still think keep all the attackers the same. I think Bellingham.
I also think Rice is more defensive than Phillips, though.
Yeah.
And then if you put Phillips on, as much as you can tell him to stay back, and he will, he's still basically a defensive midfielder. I worry that he would end up too far up the pitch, and all of a sudden we've got a 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 Giroud and Mbappe for Stones and Maguire, and I'm no one put my money on for that.
I get that, but Henderson can be the same as well. Henderson can defend. He can hold midfield quite well.
I think Rice has been quiet all tournament, but I think the Senegal game I noticed him a bit more than I had for previous games. I think he's just one of them players that you notice him when he's not there.
Yeah.
Because you know what you've missed. And I think personally, I don't think there's no way Phillips starts over Rice.
I think it's a good thing. If you don't notice your central defence midfielder, that's a good thing. Yeah. If you notice him, it's because you're having to defend too much. But I couldn't tell you anything he's done, which I think over the last 4 games is a good thing.
Yeah, I think that'll be the crucial part for Saturday. I think controlling that midfield, because if they get that freedom on the ball, they can fire them passes into Mbappe and Griezmann and get the crosses into Giroud. That's the area that we need to control. We need to stop them at source.
Yeah.
And I think I wouldn't be surprised if they play an extra midfielder in there and almost play a 4-4-2 with Saka and Kane, and maybe Foden drops deep a little bit further. I don't know, but I think that midfield battle is going to be crucial for Saturday, and we've got to win that, I think.
Yeah, that's true. It wasn't meant to be like Rice slander. It was just like if there was possibly a change. It's a hypothetical.
He has come off the bench a few times, hasn't he? I think he has come on.
I think he came on. He definitely came on against Wales.
Yeah.
The other 2 games I'm not sure about, because I don't even know if he was fit going into the World Cup.
No, he didn't play, did he?
No, he hadn't played one game for City.
No,
or Leeds for that matter.
Yeah, I do think as well. Conor Gallagher, even though Chelsea boy, don't let him touch the pitch.
Oh right, okay. I thought you were going to say something heinous.
No, mate, I do not like Gallagher. I'm so glad his name's not even been considered.
I don't really know why he's in the squad. I don't know what he's done to be in the. I don't know how he's managed to get himself in the Chelsea team either. Really.
He's a decent player.
He's half decent. He's a Palace player.
Yeah, he's not a top 4 player.
No.
As soon as he came to Chelsea, 2 games in, he got like a red card in like the 20th minute against Brentford, I think it was, something like that. I was just looking at him like, what's wrong with you? You're in a team that's should be considered like top 4 team easily, and he's just fucking about.
Yeah,
that's where I'm the podcast.
Really?
No, you can. It is an explicit podcast. Right, so score predictions for Saturday, Keane?
2-1.
I can't call
2-1
it.
England. I can't call it, but if I have to, I'll say 2-1. I'll say 2-1 England, probably more out of hope than.
I think there'll be a couple more goals. I reckon 3-2 England. To be honest.
I wouldn't mind. I'd love it if we had a 3-2, 4-3, 5-4 win. I would love it.
I'm going 3-2 in extra time. England lose.
Ooh.
The Mbappe's going to score in extra time. He's going to do a stupid dance. We're going to be all fuming.
Yeah. I think it will harm England the longer it stays 0-0. I think.
Yeah.
I think the longer it stays 0-0, the more it tips over to France. I think.
It'll be interesting to see who's on top in the game.
It'll just fluctuate massively. I don't think one team will control the game, be on top. It will be not end to end as such, but it'll be like England will have a spell of possession, bit of an attack. France will have the same.
Yeah.
I can't really split the teams.
I haven't really watched France this tournament. I've seen like a lot of the highlights, but like, I don't know. Point.
I think the only real game I watched was against whoever they played in their 3rd group game that they lost.
The second team out.
Yeah,
I watched the last game.
That was horrendous. So it just shows me France have no depth.
But I think that, like we said, that midfield battle is key. England have held a lot of possession in pretty much every single game. Even like the 0-0 draw against America, we held the ball quite a lot. The thing that scares me is I don't think our defence is as solid as we think. No. Like we've not
come against a top quality forward yet.
Because the thing is, we're good. Don't get me wrong. We've only conceded 2 goals. That's fantastic. But I don't know whether or not this defence actually lives up to that.
Yeah.
Just conceding 2 goals in 4 games. Because like Maguire's been, we saw him struggle in the last game. We had even Pulisic, Captain America, LeBron James of soccer. He had about 3 or 4 shots on target in that game. He had loads. He was causing problems.
I think that even if we're sort of passed it around at the back, but if we've got more possession, we'll do better because our team
just starve them with the ball, doesn't it?
Yeah, and our team can defend their front 3, like Giroud, Griezmann, Dembele, and Mbappe, or the front 4. That can't really defend, won't want to defend.
Yeah.
Our front 4 will. Because if I say our front 4, that's including someone like Bellingham or Henderson, who can be defensive minded anyway. Kane can drop and defend. The wingers will drop. So we can. So if we've got the ball, it'll be easier for us to break them down. The trouble is going to be if they have the bulk of possession.
Yeah. We got to defend for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. Yeah. So
It's
yeah,
going to be a possession. It's going to be a possession game.
it's going to be a massive game. It's
Yeah.
going to be a massive TV audience. I think it's especially these games don't come around very often.
No.
World Cup games, massive nation, Saturday night.
Saturday night, exactly.
It's going to be a big one. Right, so we touch on the other games in around the 16 that happened. So first one, Argentina, Australia.
Argentina didn't look special.
They weren't amazing, no. Messi scoring again.
That's his
Again,
was
everyone
his
was
first ever knockout goal as well. I think.
Was it?
possibly.
I believe that's his first World
But
Cup.
everyone was going mental about like his goal was pretty good, but he didn't do anything like ridiculously special. If you know what I mean?
No,
it was good,
Yeah.
but like if you saw an England forward do that, no one would be going, "He's the best player of all time." I know it's slightly different, but Messi didn't do anything ridiculously over and above in that game. He was good.
Yeah.
I think he's been overhyped from that game alone.
Do you think the whole Argentina team just maybe went into the game a bit overconfident? There?
Yeah, probably.
Is the thing, yeah.
Yeah,
They're probably thinking.
Before the goal,
They-
I
they
thought
were 2-0
Australia
they
were
were-
going to score.
They were
Sorry.
2-0 up, weren't they? They got a goal right at the
Yeah,
end.
before the goal, the first goal, I thought Australia were going to score first.
Oh.
And then the last 10 minutes was just crazy. Australia nearly scored like 3 goals, except from a last minute block by Martinez
Oh yes, yeah.
and a challenge by Lisandro Martinez. The two Martinezes is
Martinai.
Yeah.
Yeah. Netherlands, United States, 3-1 Netherlands.
Didn't watch it, but it
I
sounded
watched that. The Netherlands looked good actually. To be fair, and Dumfries was amazing that game. He got 2 assists in the goal, and he was up and down the pitch. They were playing their win backs. And he was very strong. They looked pretty dangerous.
Yeah, he is solid.
I was listening to it, and I think
very fast.
when it went 2-1 on the Talk Sport, they were like, the US might win this actually. They might get another goal now, and then it'll
And they
tip in their
scored straight
favour.
away.
And then the Dutch went out there and scored straight away, so it was like, oh,
Yeah.
game's done now.
That Gakpo as well. He's been on fire.
I know he's already. I think he's going to pick up a big move either in January or in the summer.
His
Yeah.
value was doubled as well. If United bought him for the World Cup, they could have got him for 20 million, I think. It'll be at least 50 now.
Yeah, I think Arsenal are interested. I think now Gabriel Jesus is apparently injured. Arsenal are interested. United will be interested.
Mind you, United are linked with everyone.
Well, yeah, that's true. There'll be a lot of big clubs out there. France, Poland, we've already touched on slightly. I think.
Poland were poor.
Yeah, they were.
France were
good.
France were good, but you don't have to do much special to beat that Polish side.
Poland just didn't really have. They don't really have much creativity.
No.
Have anything.
No.
They
Very boring,
they
aren't
rely on Lewandowski, but when your star player is a striker,
Doesn't get the ball.
he needs service, and if you've got shit players around him, he's not going to get the service.
Yeah, exactly.
Mbappe looked good, didn't he? That
Yeah.
his second goal in particular
Yeah.
was
Which is,
pretty special.
Before the World Cup, I was like you said, we weren't sure whether or not France would like flop or anything. Because you think Mbappe at the Euros, he did nothing.
no.
He did
No.
nothing.
They struggled.
Japan, Croatia 1-0. Croatia won 3-1 on penalties. Some of the worst penalties I've watched
Yeah,
They were
entertaining
poor,
game,
so
though.
far.
Entertaining game though.
It was.
I love Japan's spirit. They were really fighting for every tackle. Croatia as well. I think they were. They really are trying to be the best of the rest. If that makes sense.
If you want a video on how not to take penalties, though, just watch those Japan
Yeah,
penalties.
they were. It's like they didn't even kick a ball.
I know.
It was
Yeah.
embarrassing.
It
I
was
was
ridiculous.
watching it and I was like, come on, boys, let's
Yeah.
do over Croatia, and they were abysmal penalties.
Yeah.
They probably didn't think they'd get that far.
But when you're Japan against Croatia and you get it down to penalties, you've got to be careful. We have to win this, and we've got this is where we win games like this. If you can take it to penalties, that's how you win the games.
They were just like jogging up and side footing him. Just run up and smash it.
Smash it.
Yeah.
Ben Foster tweeted after those penalties in the Spain ones was tip for taking a penalty: just hit it as hard as you can.
Yeah.
On target.
Yeah,
You'll be alright.
that's like pretty much what like Keane and Maguire do.
Yeah,
Maguire.
Maguire's penalty in the World Cup,
my
in the
word.
Euros final was
Unbelievable.
I remember he stepped up and we were like, oh my god,
Here we go.
why is Harry Maguire taking the penalty? He went bang, top bin.
Absolutely nailed
Yeah,
it.
he's brilliant.
But yeah, Croatia didn't look great. I think they were just, again, they're going to be a type of team that are just possession based. And just...
Croatia are boring to watch. Yeah. It's so dull.
I agree, but it does seem to work for him.
It does. It worked for the last two
Yeah.
tournaments. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
there you go. Portugal, Switzerland. What do we make of Ronaldo being dropped?
It worked.
Understand it.
Clearly.
Yeah. That. What was the guy's name?
Gonzalo
Hat-trick?
Ramos.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
Unreal.
His first goal was unbelievable.
Yeah.
The first one. There's been a lot of since Ronaldo's been dropped. There's been a few. Don't know how true they are. Again, reports going around that Ronaldo's not been happy about it, and apparently he said he was going to go leave the tournament, but I don't know how true that is.
He put out a tweet, I think it was today as well, just congratulating the team. One nation, one team. We're all behind. The whole country's behind us.
Again, the media seem to have an agenda against Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Why that is, I don't know. Whether it's because he does these interviews, which I can't really understand why he did it, but and then the opposite for Messi, where it's like Ramos scores his first goal. They go mental. Ronaldo goes running over. He's jumping on him. He's celebrating. Yeah. But then they use a photo of him sat looking unhappy on the bench when he's probably just sat on the bench. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, whereas they hype up everything Messi does. Yeah. I know it's not quite the same because Messi's never done a TV interview with Piers Morgan, but
media's got their own game of Messi versus Ronaldo, haven't they?
Yes. I think, especially recently, what's been happening over the last 6 months or so. But at the same time, with Ronaldo, he's fell out with Juventus. Yeah. He's fell out of Ten Hag at United. Something's gone on now with Santos of Portugal. And I think
something's becoming a bit of a recurring
going on.
theme.
And I think he is starting to get that stage of his career where he's just not accepting the fact that he's not as good as he used to be.
No. I understand a lot of his comments about United, though. I'll let you carry on.
We spoke about it a bit on the last episode, but
if on that interview with United he bashed everyone except the manager and the team, I'd have been well happy with it. If he'd gone on and bashed the Glazers, bashed the facilities, everything, I'd have gone fine because you're bashing the club. Yeah. For you to then bash the manager who hasn't signed you, doesn't necessarily want you, and he's just struggling. He's struggling to come to terms with the fact that he's 37, 38. doesn't have the pace he used to have. Most people at 38 are 5 years retired, sort of thing.
I think he's got to appreciate. Yes, he's this superhuman athlete who is the fittest a human can be at that age. But he's 38 years old. He's playing professional football at the highest level it's tough.
He's going to go down as a top 2 footballer of all time, as always.
At least.
But that's the thing. You don't want this now. Just people only
don't want to tarnish it. This is what people will remember.
Yeah. They only remember the most recent thing that happens, and this will tarnish it.
That's what I think. I think he's so desperate for another trophy of some kind.
Yeah, and I think
he really wanted the Champions League.
He wants to finish on a high, doesn't he? He wants to win. I bet he wants to win the Champions League one more time, and then go, I'm done. That'll do me.
He does.
I wouldn't be surprised if Portugal won the World Cup. I'm retired.
Yeah.
That would be an end to high on, a high to end.
Because he'd lift the trophy. Yeah, if they won the World Cup, do you know what? I'm done. I've had enough. I don't need to go to Saudi Arabia if it's true and get paid £2 million a game or whatever stupid it is.
But the thing is, I've not seen one single story linking Ronaldo to any European club.
No.
Not one. No one wants him.
Well, obviously all last summer he applied for every single Champions League team. Not a single soul wanted him.
The only team I could see a slither of him going to would make it a top European team would be Chelsea. Yeah. Purely because the owner seems to want him.
He's American, isn't he? That's the thing.
Yeah,
but not bring in money.
The thing is now, especially what's happening now with Portugal as well, bringing them in, it's going to cause more drama.
Yeah.
Something's going to go wrong. The slightest thing that happens, the news will be all over him, the press. It's not worth it.
He has brought it on himself in that as soon he could do 10 things right and they'll be in the media but nothing major. As soon as he does one thing slightly wrong, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
He's brought it upon himself.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see. But if he wants to keep playing, he's going to have to go to Saudi Arabia, I think.
I don't think there's many other options, personally. No. And I think, what's the point of that? Like, bit of a paycheck. We don't need the money, do we?
Doesn't need the money, God no.
No.
So we'll see. You're right, I reckon if they win the World Cup,
he could drop it on the head right there.
He'll go there, I'm done. Not going to Saudi Arabia, never was.
Yeah, that'll be it. Last game, round of 16, Morocco, Spain. Touched on that a minute earlier. Penalties.
Horrific penalties. Spain penalties were absolutely dreadful.
Spain are normally quite decent historically, quite good at penalties as well.
Yeah, but they've they've
not.
They
lost to. Did they lose to Russia on penalties last World Cup?
Yeah, they did.
Was that penalties? I think
they've not. They've not got like goal scorers in their team. No. Everyone was bashing Gary Neville for saying, "I don't see where the goals are when they beat Costa Rica 7-0."
Done it everywhere.
But it's Costa Rica.
Real Madrid, Juventus.
He's definitely been used as some kind of financial fair play money thing as well. But they've got all of these creative players.
Yeah.
But they just create.
Their midfield full of youngsters.
It's ridiculous. But they create. They've not got a striker. They've not got
They
Torres.
They didn't start a striker. They had Ferran Torres.
Yeah,
Dani Olmo, and then had Asensio. Yeah, and none of them are outside forwards. No.
They're sort of wingers, creative midfielders.
Yeah.
the front six in the Spain team, most of the time when Morata didn't start, it's just central attacking mids. That's it. So
that's what Danny Olmo is. Danny Olmo's played. He's actually been alright in those games. I did like Danny.
Yeah, he's played well,
but it's right what you said. Yeah, it's just
not no goals, no goals in it.
And to be fair, I watched most of that game. Morocco had quite a few decent chances. Is that El Nassiri?
Oh yeah,
I think he missed 2 chances right near the end where they were very decent. They probably should have won it in 90 minutes. The chances they had. Spain were controlling possession as you would expect them to do, but they were decent going forward. They had
if you control possession, don't do anything with it. What's the point?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have to, before we move on from that game, we have to give an honourable mention to Hakimi's penalty.
Oh
my word! Have the balls to do that.
His bollocks are massive.
They are huge
against your country you were born in as well.
Yeah.
The celebration as well, not to as well.
To go and do that is ridiculous. If he'd done that, keeper just catches it and then they lose.
Imagine missing that and you're out. Oh mate, you've never.
I see the fucking veins.
It's mental.
Literally, he was
to freeze the Sahara Desert, mate.
But what they have said is on really crucial penalties, if you go straight down the middle, you're very likely to score. Because the keeper always wants to dive.
Yeah.
Because if they save it, it looks really good.
Yeah.
Because they've not stayed down the middle and just caught it. They've dived to left or the right. It looks so much better.
Imagine if it was a World Cup final and you had to save penalty. There's no way I'm not diving, is there?
No. That's the thing. You're not going to stay down the middle. Because if it's the last penalty in a penalty shootout, or it's a penalty in the 91st minute to win the game, and you stand still, everyone's going, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
If you dive the wrong way, or you dive, you don't get there. Fine. But you've got to dive.
Crazy.
Remember Aguero versus Mendy, Chelsea Man City? I can't remember in what competition that was. That was funny. Tries a Panenka and Mendy just stands alone.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
There's been a lot of penalties now, and I hate this rule where, well, it's not a rule, but they're allowed to. I hate this stuttering rule.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, there's so many things now. They've got VAR and a lot of cameras involved. They're not allowed encroachments. The players aren't allowed to come in front of the box until the players kick the ball. Even if they miss it,
Can't come off your line.
Yeah, can't come off the line. There's so many high-tech cameras watching these two things, and the players have to sprint at full speed and suddenly stop in their run-up.
Lewandowski did it, didn't he? And that's a penalty taken again. And then he did it again, and Lloris came off his line. So if he'd missed, it would have been taken again.
Yeah.
It does make me wonder if the keeper comes off his line, but you put it wide, does it get taken again?
I expect so.
Yeah, I would think so, but I think there's an argument to go. But you missed.
I just think you shouldn't be able to stop when you run up.
No, you shouldn't be able to stop. Like what Jorginho does is clever because that's
different.
It's
like a little
it's
slow,
not a stop,
isn't
is it?
Yeah.
You're not allowed to stop. You have to keep moving.
No, you are allowed to stop.
No, you're not. You're not. No, but like it's changed from what Ronaldo used to do, where he used to actually stop.
But they do stop.
No, you're not allowed to stop.
Bollocks, Keane.
The rule is you're not allowed to stop. Hence why Jorginho jumps because you're still moving.
Can we not Google this?
It's the same way that Lewandowski was still moving.
No,
but he didn't stop. You don't have to have one continuous run up. You just have to keep moving. I guarantee you that's the rule.
Yeah, it might be not allowed. But it's not enforced.
Yeah, you're not allowed to stop because Lewandowski would go, but I didn't stop. Jorginho goes, I didn't stop.
I suppose because you remember Pogba
they're still moving.
Really slow run up, didn't he?
Who? Pogba. Yeah. But he's still moving. Same with Ronaldo in the Champions League final. Ran, physically stopped, did it again, shot, missed. Fine. You're not allowed to do that. You have to keep running.
Yeah.
That is the rule. I can promise you that much.
Yeah, I agree with you. That probably is the rule, but the fact that it's not what happens is.
Yeah, it is.
What I'm saying.
No one ever stops. Lewandowski, if you look at it, he doesn't stop. He slows right down, but he's still moving. He'll plant his one foot and he'll be moving his other foot as if to take another step. So he's kind of stopped, but he's officially not stopped.
So he has stopped.
No, he hasn't because he's still moving.
But he's kind of stopped.
Yeah, but he's still
But
moving.
that shouldn't be allowed. You shouldn't be able to slow your speed at all.
So you shouldn't be able to do what Jorginho does and jump. Then,
that's different because that's a continuous thing.
It's not though, is it?
It is
because he's running up and then he jumps and then he kicks it.
Yeah, he's got a skip and
So it's the same thing.
Well, you're telling me it's just not a stop. Watch this.
No, because he's still moving. Because it's a step. It's the same as what Jorginho does.
Basically a stop.
That's a stop.
That's the same as what Jorginho
does.
does.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
I know, like, if you really want to be pedantic about it, it's not a stop.
With VAR and all that, why have they not gone where you stopped? So your penalty's void.
Because they don't enforce the rule. It's shit.
No, but if they've got VAR, they can. Why would they not?
They don't.
Why not? When else have you seen it not enforced?
Then.
Can you give me any other example?
Yes, this World Cup has been a few of them that I've noticed. I can't put names to them.
Okay. We'll move on, but he didn't stop.
He didn't.
Officially, he didn't stop, which is why they not enforced it. But anyway.
Your opinion's just shit anyway, so.
Okay, Paddy. Okay.
Right.
Hold on.
No, we done
Brazil,
quarterfinals.
South Korea.
We did that.
We
Did we?
didn't.
No, we didn't.
Oh, Brazil won
You
4.
missed it on your little.
Because you fucking butted in. That's why.
I thought that would be a tighter game going into it.
So did I.
Again, like it's similar to the Japan thing. South Korea, they had heart, mate. Love that. I rate that from them. Human Son in the game before, phenomenal. Kept the team going. Scored. He scored or did he assist? But brought the game back, got them through.
Yeah. What are your two opinions on the dancing that Brazil did?
I don't care.
There's a lot of stick about it, but
I don't really care.
it's part of Brazilian culture.
You
Isn't
win
it?
a World Cup.
You're in a World Cup.
What I don't get is people, like Jason Cundy, knob, are slating it, going, "It's South Korea. You shouldn't be doing that." But if you scored and then just walked back, that's more disrespectful than to South Korea.
Yeah.
If they do
You're
that, they're going,
like-
So what- it's
we
knockout
shouldn't be
stage.
We're in a
World
training game
Yeah,
right here.
it's
yeah.
knockout. They could go out the next game, so they make the most of it. I
Do you-
think
If,
let them
to
do
be
what they
fair,
want.
if England started doing it, I'd be like, "Fuck off, lads." What are you
Yeah.
doing? But it's Brazilian culture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
the
that's
same way-
because British way.
That's the
more
thing.
Cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same way you look
First
back
Harry
to
Kane.
the 2010 World Cup, the first celebration was that really annoying one on FIFA that they do
Shabalaba.
now. Yeah. And it was brilliant.
I love that goal.
Yeah.
That is one of my best World Cup moments.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
But yeah, Brazil looked good again.
Yeah.
I think.
They're
Like
probably
South Korea look poor, so.
Yeah, I think Brazil are the favourites right now. Aren't
Yeah,
they? I would say.
big time.
So yeah.
Although they have got to come up against Argentina. They should. I think they should comfortably beat Argentina.
Yeah.
Well, I think they might struggle against Croatia.
Maybe.
Personally, it'll be hard to break down.
If they get an early goal
True.
against Croatia, they'll batter them.
Yeah. Right, let's talk about predictions now then. So let's go Croatia Brazil first quarter-final game, which is Friday at 3:00. Tay,
I'm just gonna say 1-0 Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
can see that.
It's a quiet game, but yeah, I don't think Croatia will be able to hold them for the full 90 minutes, but I think they'll do a good job at this.
Yeah, I'd probably agree. I'd do maybe 1-0, 2-0 Brazil, but I would not be surprised if Croatia took that to extra time and potentially penalties.
But I don't see Croatia scoring out of open play.
Neither do I. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm going 3-0 Brazil.
And I think Brazil will have the talent to score a goal.
Yeah.
So I think Croatia are going to have to at some point go forward. Keane
3-0 Brazil, and they'll score within the first 10 minutes.
Should I put a correct score
reckon.
bet on this?
I'm gonna after this. I'm going to put 3-0 Brazil, a goal in the first 10 minutes.
Right, okay.
That's what I'm going to do.
Also Friday, 7:00, Netherlands, Argentina.
I think
That's-
that's a really tight game.
I think that's so unpredictable. It could honestly go anyway. Like,
I would
Argentina-
not be even remotely surprised if Netherlands win that.
I actually want to say Netherlands win, and the only reason, I know this is a bit like shallow, I suppose, but the Netherlands team is just so much taller than Argentina's. Even like if they just get a shitload of corners or like free kicks, they can just whip in. Who's going to stop that? I know Martinez. Don't get me wrong, he's a good defender, a great defender.
But he doesn't play
He
for
doesn't play,
Argentina, and I don't understand why.
He's been in such good form.
He's been their best defender when he's come on or when he's played, and then he doesn't get a look in.
Who do they play?
Get it?
Romero and no,
Is it no, not Rodrigo de Paul.
they play Romero.
Christian Romero
definitely.
and Otamendi.
No.
He's not still kicking about, is he?
Otamendi starts for Argentina over
Where's he
Lisandro
playing?
Martinez.
Is he still playing like Benfica?
Benfica, yeah.
That's mental.
So I just don't understand it. Whether it's because they want bigger players to be really like forceful,
Yeah.
but I can't understand it.
But I think against when they get to play Brazil, you want Martinez over Otamendi. You want a bit more pace. Brazil have not got. I know Richarlison's he's a bulkier striker who maybe is can win a header and can be a bit more physical.
Yeah.
And Martinez has got that about him anyway. You want a bit more pace when you play in Brazil, I think, when they get to that stage, if they do.
Yeah. I mean, Brazil's centre backs. I know they got Militao on there, who's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Obviously, they do have Silva in the team and Marquinhos in the team, who like they're getting on.
But I think Netherlands, Argentina. Again, watching the first 20 minutes, or whatever it was, of that Australia-Argentina game, they looked poor. They looked so poor, and they've just got nothing about them. It's almost like they can't really create much.
Yeah.
They have got to still, to a degree, rely on Messi to do something.
Yeah. I mean, they have their moments, like because we've all seen, even in like the first game against Saudi Arabia, there were moments like 5 minutes where Argentina's in full domination, like they're making these crazy passes, right, and then just another 5 minutes where they're just getting butt fucked.
I think I might agree. I might go for a win for Netherlands there.
I'm
They're,
going to say 2-1 Netherlands.
I think
I was gonna say.
Argentina are like they just seem like they don't know what to do half the time, and they kind of just go,
Rely
"Oh,
on
quick,
Messi."
give it Messi,"
and
then
more
if
often than
he
not,
turns it on,
he does.
then fair play. But if he doesn't, they're screwed.
Yeah.
And people are going, they've got a really good team, which on paper they probably have.
Yeah.
Lautaro Martinez is great. Di Maria's playing really well for him. Messi, their midfield's pretty good.
The
Defence is good.
Who's that Man City striker, the backup striker?
Julian Alvarez.
Alvarez,
He's
yeah.
good, but again, they can't seem to do anything. Whether it's because they've got Messi in the team, they go a bit like maybe Portugal and United would have done with Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Just quickly give it to him.
Over relying on it.
But the difference with Messi and Ronaldo is that Messi can create more than Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So you can give it to Messi and he'll do something.
Yeah.
But whether it's just
But Messi,
not that they would drop Messi, but if they did take him out of the team, would the whole team perform better?
Who knows?
Yeah. Big questions. Big questions. with Keane
I've not
Williams.
got the answer to that. No. We've touched on England already, and then the last quarterfinal game on Saturday.
So we'll know our
Yeah.
opposition.
And then the 3:00 game on the Saturday is the Morocco-Portugal game. I think Portugal probably comfortably win that.
I think so as well.
I think they've been decent. They were very, very
I
good
can see it being quite tight.
against Switzerland.
I just feel like Morocco's had. I don't want to say good luck, so I don't want to discredit them.
Yeah.
But they've been very fortunate and overachieving. I feel like
It's
it's
a
just
step
got
too
run
far,
out.
isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
you
got
can
to
say
run out.
they did do well in keeping Spain out, because even if you've not got an out-and-out striker with that attacking prowess, you'll still probably get goals.
Yeah.
Like they were able to keep them out. They'll try and do the same thing against Portugal, but Portugal have got more goal scorers than Spain.
Yeah.
Fernandes will get you goals. Ronaldo, Ramos, Bernardo Silva. They've got much more goal scorers in the team.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Portugal will win that quite comfortably.
I'm going to say 3-1.
Portugal? Yeah.
I'll go 3.
I feel like it's
I'll
one of
go
those.
3 now.
I can't see Morocco getting a goal.
I feel like it's one of those games. It could be like a crazy scoreline. Like it wouldn't surprise me if Portugal win like 5-0. Also, wouldn't surprise me if it is a bit
0-0
closer.
and it's
and
like-
yeah.
Extra time penalties.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because
you know,
what do you reckon, Portugal? Do you reckon he benches Ronaldo again, or do you
He
reckon
has to.
I think he has to, but whether he will or not.
It will. He has to. Unless it was some kind of disciplinary for some. We can't drop the guy sort of hat trick.
You can't.
You can't, can
round
you?
of 16.
you've got to assess that.
I
Because
think-
I mean, come on, your first proper game, you score a hat trick.
Yeah.
You've got to question: is
The
that
first
just a
hat trick in the
fluke?
World Cup, isn't it?
I wouldn't, but I can see him trying to squeeze Ronaldo in with him.
Maybe that's more likely. I
Because
don't.
what people are forgetting about that Portugal game is that was one of the first games he didn't play two defensive midfielders.
Yeah.
So they were more attacking anyway. So had you put Ronaldo in for Ramos, maybe he'd have got a hat trick.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he would have done,
Yeah.
but you've got to take into account the
More
fact that
chances.
the midfield was also more attacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's a fair point.
Yeah. So we're pretty much there with
much covered
predictions and overview for the quarterfinals. Keane, do you want to give us your stat of the
So
episode?
it's not so much a stat.
There we go.
It's a bit of a weird fact. So in the 1950 World Cup, gone back a bit of a way, India qualified, right? India, but they withdrew from the tournament. Partially it was because due to financial concerns, but the other part of it was because of FIFA's requirement, so their rule for players to wear shoes.
Oh, I think I saw about this. Yeah.
Because
They played
up to that
barefoot.
point, Indian players had only played barefoot. So effectively, they withdrew with the tournament because they had to wear shoes. Which is just,
Can you imagine?
when you think about it now, is nuts.
That is bonkers.
I feel like you'd have to just learn the game again.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be kicking.
It would have been funny watching them. As much as you think it would have been completely different, it might have been funny watching an Indian team that've only ever played barefoot playing boots.
Imagine that now. You got like some team with barefoot and it's like full of like Portugal players wearing like Superflies.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Mental. That was
Yeah.
decent
Right,
one.
come on then, Pads. What's your journey? If
So
you know
player
where it's called?
journey, clubs. You got to give me the player.
Okay.
So I've done a bit harder this week because I think it's
Oh,
been a
don't
little
say
bit
that.
too easy last time.
I'll be like,
Well,
my
I mean, it's hard to judge what's so. Sporting Lisbon, Barcelona, Porto, Inter Milan, Chelsea on loan, Besiktas, Al Ahly, who are a Saudi team, Porto, Besiktas, Kasimpás, who are also a Turkish team, and Vitória Guimarães, who I believe are a Portuguese league team.
Okay, so he's got to be Portuguese.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've recapped the main clubs: Sporting, Barcelona, Porto, Inter Milan, Chelsea, Besiktas.
Do we get like a rough
Portuguese
time?
player.
Yeah.
So
Do you want time periods?
you've got to try and find a Portuguese player that's played for Barcelona.
So, time periods are
there's
as
probably a
follows.
few.
2000, 2003, Sporting.
Mhm.
03, 04, Barcelona. 04 to 08, Porto. 08 to 2010, Inter Milan. 2009, during that time, he was on loan at Chelsea.
He was on loan.
Is it Ricardo Quaresma?
It is Ricardo Quaresma.
Yes.
Oh, shit, I would not have got
He was
that.
the only one I thought of, and I was like, oh, hold on a minute. I'm sure he's played in Turkey and various. I
think
didn't know
I
about
was-
Barcelona and that.
I was just initially thinking either Raul Morales or
Morales,
Bosingwa, but like until
Yeah.
you said the time frames,
Yeah.
you said Chelsea 2009. I was like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
not.
Well, he only ever played 4 games for Chelsea.
I was gonna say, I can't remember, I don't think he would have played much for Barcelona.
He played 1 season, 22 games.
Oh right, yeah.
1 goal.
Played.
It's not great.
No.
For a forward, is it?
But he's
No.
got a hell of a
Travella.
Travella.
Yeah, he's one of the first, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
fair play to them.
Should be called a Quaresma.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Start trend, mate.
80 games for Portugal, though.
Yeah, well, for a long time he was a
He was
regular
one of-
starter,
yeah,
wasn't he?
was, yeah. Only 10 goals, though. That's not great, is it?
Not really. How many assists? You got that there or not?
Not that up to hand, sorry. Probably a lot to Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But yeah, that concludes the episode. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah,
we'll
cheers,
probably
Thank you for having me.
we'll have an
That's,
episode after the Saturday. Hopefully, looking
Win.
forward to an England World Cup
Yeah.
semi-final.
Let's hope.
What happened?
That's what we hope. Let's
Rate the beer.
rate the beer. I'll rate what I've had a Australia before. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
Have we had a Sahi on the
We
pod so
have.
far this
Did Blake
season?
bring it?
I think so.
No,
So-
was it Blake?
Was it Blake? Someone bought it.
Someone
I can't
bought
remember.
it.
Alright.
I'm going to go give it a good 8. I like Asahi, it's nice.
Tay?
Oh, yeah, a bit. 7.
7, yeah,
Step
fair.
down maybe. It's not my favourite. It is quite dry. I shouldn't realise that. But,
Just say
Yeah.
dry on the bottle.
So
yeah.
next week we'll have a
Serious.
review of the quarterfinal games. Hopefully talking about an England semi-final, like you say.
Definitely.
But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Come on, England, this coming home.
Coming home. Cheers, boys.
Coming home.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Take care.